The police
can prosecute.
They are overwhelmed.
No, sir.
That is one of the things that has been said over time.
No, sir. The state can prosecute. Is the state overwhelmed? If the state is overwhelmed, every year the Nigerian law school produce not less than 5,000 lawyers. Employ them. Make them public prosecutors.
So your point is that
decentralized power.
Your point is that these three should be merged together.
Totally.
How is that going to cut a cost of governance or cost of operation?
It will. Because you will be running one office, not 3-4 offices. You will not have a code of conduct tribunal because the court will do that. You fill your forms. You lie on oath. You are prosecuted for perjury. Irrespective. Is there a difference between a white collar crime and the other crime, the ordinary crime? It is still a crime.
Okay.
Look at the JAMB.
We'll go to JAMB. Just before I allow Odinaka to come in, now let's take another one. There is this recommendation that the Voice of Nigeria, the Nigerian Television Authority, the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, the national, these, it should be merged together.
Simple. You have AKBC here now. You have AKBC Radio and AKBC Television. You have a broadcasting outfit for the government. Under that, you can have the FM and the AM. You can have the vernacular, but it should be under one. Honestly, I have friends who work with Voice of Nigeria, but I don't know what they do because I don't think I've listened. You even have something like the News Agency of Nigeria. Nah, what are you doing? You know, what are they doing? It doesn't mean they should sack the people that have been employed.
But that's the fear. That's the fear of a lot of people.
That fear is misplaced. These people have been trained using taxpayers' money. Deploy them. Instead of having, because the Voice of Nigeria is Abuja, Lagos. What's the essence? You have a strong federal government owned radio station and television station that covers all the 36 states and the federal government. Deploy them. They don't need to lose their jobs. They have been trained.
All right, let's get to the NECO, National Examination Commission, and the West African Examination Council. The recommendation has it that these should be merged, and the power should be totally allowed to the West African Examination Council to conduct examinations.
Which is a more acceptable certification all over.
But we don't have control over West African Examination
Council. You don't need to have control. It is an internationally recognized certification.
So is NECO not internationally recognized?
It is just limited in Nigeria. It is conducted.
Don't you think
you see the problem with Nigeria is
just a
we like the low-hanging fruits.
It's not about low-hanging.
It is the low-hanging fruit because the NECO is a creation by government to aid people who cannot stand the rigors of the West African Examination Council administered exams.
That wasn't the reason for the creation of NECO.
No, sir. That's what I'm telling you. That is the creation. You see, you look at it, you just believe we want to. What is it? Why was NECO created?
NECO was created at a point. There was a system where Nigerians would sit for exams, and you had several people had to repeat the exam. Sometimes
because they could not.
Sometimes
because WAEC was not watered down.
Sometimes it was totally cancelled.
See, that explanation is immaterial. It does not hold water. The issue is there is an examination body that administers exams to West African countries.
Why should we rely on a continental examination body?
It is something that was created for uniformity, acceptability, sir. NECO is just like this mushroom private universities, mushroom polytechnics.
They have been licensed.
They have been licensed, no doubt. But Basi, universities that still send me text message that I have been given admission.
Did you
without even writing jam?
Did you apply for?
That is it. They are for shopping. They are shopping for students.
Let's come back to issue of NECO. Let's come back to issue of NECO and WAEC. Sametu, over time, Nigerians have been crying about originality, indigenization of some institutions, and the fear of having international bodies or countries, other countries, hijack that which should naturally be in the hands of Nigerians. So, do you think there is need? What need would it be to have NECO and WAEC meshed together? At that point, for me, I think
you are not merging NECO and WAEC.
Okay, scraping NECO.
You are scrapping NECO. Let's not mislead.
Scraping NECO.
We're scrapping NECO, and I'm saying it's unnecessary. Let's do the WAEC. The WAEC, we had the general WAEC in those days. Then we had the private candidates.
Really?
People who could not make the general WAEC. So why bring the NECO? Why bring the NECO?
Odinaka is looking at you. I don't know if she's quite convinced, but let me allow her.
You know, when these agencies are being merged, won't it be won't the agencies be overburdened with workers, and where would the resources come? Because if we are cutting costs
at the moment we have the superfluous, and the resources are coming. So when you now reduce, let's look at it very practically. You have the ICPC office here in Uyo. You have the EFCC office in Uyo here. You have the Code of Conduct Bureau office in Uyo here. When you merge all of them, you will just have one office.
Let's say, for example, we have 300 workers.
Yes.
In each of them.
Yes.
Then 300 times 3, 900.
Yes.
Working under one office.
Yes. And they will be deployed. They will be deployed to local government. Because they are supposed to have, just like the DSS, for instance. Are you aware that the DSS, they have their operatives in the local government?
Yeah, sure.
Good.
In each of
but
the local
sometimes
government,
they just have just one person there.
When
they should have more. Just like the police. If the EFCC, you have information into local government where Basi comes from, you should not just have one personnel. You have several. One personnel cannot cover the entire local government. So rather than concentrate them in the city, you will send them to areas they are needed. It will even boost their jobs.
Okay, Samuel.
Why is EFCC just located in Uyo? And Uyo is the zonal headquarters of Akwa Ibom Cross River.
So it should be situated across the local government. Is that what you mean?
You should spread. You shouldn't have all the operative in Uyo. You shouldn't.
And that's creation of more offices.
You said?
Creation of more offices.
You are not creating more offices. You are renting more office. You are not creating. Everybody will be under EFCC. So if this is the zonal headquarters, you should have your office in Calabar. You should have offices in at least the 3 senatorial districts.
All right, Sameto.
You should have your agents in local government. Is there no corruption in local government?
We are not aware. Do we have corruption in the local government? Okay, Sameto, that wasn't a lighter note. Let me take you to some other agencies that we have recommendations that it should be merged. The National Orientation Agency, the National Institute for Cultural Orientation, the Nigerian Institute of Hospitality and Tourism Studies, the National Troupe and National Theatre, and the National Gallery of Art, and the Energy Commission of Nigeria. They should come together. They should mesh this together. What's your take on these two?
Do we have a Ministry of Culture and Tourism? We have a Ministry of Culture and Tourism. So what are all these?
So these agencies should be reduced into units under the supervision of these ministries.
You see, ironically, for instance, in Akwa Ibom State here, you will have a Director of Technical Education, a Directorate of Technical Education. So everything that has to do with technical education should go under that directorate. You have the Ministry of Information. You have departments, you know, and at the end of the day, most of these agencies, most of these commissions are supposed to be departments in the ministry. Okay. For instance, you're talking about hospitality, the Agency for Hospitality, the National Orientation Agency, for instance. What is the Ministry of Information doing? What is the Ministry of Information doing? That's superfluous. You see, most times we, because of the level of irresponsibility on the part of our elected officers, government officials, you know, we have situations where they just create things to either massage their ego, serve as political patronage to supporters and acolytes. But the truth is that some of these things are not helping us.
Sameto, let's take a slant forward on this issue and register some fears expressed by some Nigerians.
Yes, sir.
You may wish to agree with me that some of these agencies, especially statutory agencies, are given independence by the law establishing them. And over time, we've seen where agencies are directly under the supervision and control of some ministries that this independence is lost. So Nigerians,
what independence on National Orientation Agency?
Apart from that,
no. What independence?
If we allow, for instance, if we say that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission should be under the supervision of the Nigerian Police Force, granted we say that. Granted we say
that's not what it's saying.
Granted that is said. Can we actually say that they would be allowed to operate free hands without unnecessary interference?
Is the anti-fraud unit of the police not effective?
I should ask you if they are effective.
They are effective. And they are under the control of the Commissioner of Police at the state or the Inspector General of Police at the federal level. So we're talking about this issue of control over and independence. What's independence? Is it the independence of JAMB? The truth is, we need to be realistic. We need to be realistic. We need people who will do the job, no matter whose ox is God. That's what we should be looking at. We have had ministers, we've had commissioners that have done their jobs very, very well. I usually talk about the Commissioner for Information and Strategy. You know, he brought a new dimension to that ministry, and you can see both the public, the staff, and the professional body, the NUJ, appreciate what he has done. We have few. Okay, we have the Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General, the senior advocate, who has come. He has done things differently
in the ministry.
And relationship with the bar.
Samuel, we are taking a series on this. So you'll gradually move from the federal government to the state government to the local government. I hope that you'll be with us through. We will do this too, and it will culminate to having the 29th May, wherein we'll celebrate another year of democracy, so to speak, in our state and in our country. But let's move forward. Today we are anchoring on cutting the cost of governance, and we began with having the recommendation of the Rasaya committee that there is need to cut down these ministries or these agencies, make some, scrape some. And let me come to you again specifically on this issue of cutting costs. Beyond the recommendation of this committee that these agencies should be made, some should be scraped off, there is this proposition, particularly from the executive at the national level, that having most of these persons given appointment by Mr. President is to allow effectiveness and to allow ease of penetration on several sectors to have effective representation and bring solution on table on the several challenges that we have. And so are you going to take a different position on this issue?
Just like the solution of the removal of fuel subsidy without any policy or steps taken to cushion the effect that has led to the economic downturn in the country. I think most times the appointments are just a way of saying thank you, not based on competence.
We've not seen that so far in this administration. At the national level, where we're beginning, we've not seen that.
That we've not seen what? Please.
We've not seen that. We've not seen where appointments so far made is just a way of saying thank you.
Basi, how much?
The president.
How much do you exchange
for
a naira, a dollar for naira? It's a simple.
Well,
no. I am acting as a lawyer. How much?
It's obvious. At the formal market is about 1,250.
No, don't allow anybody hear that.
So what is the rate? At the parallel market it's slightly above that.
Oh, that is what you heard on the government television.
Is it different from the reality?
Yes, that is what you heard on the government television. You know, we must be realistic. You don't get a dollar for anything less than 1,600.
That's at the black market.
How much do you buy a bag of cement? Between 10,500, 11,000 naira. This morning I just bought fuel 700 naira per liter. And we had appointees of the government brandishing video clips on the social media that the Port Harcourt refinery is ready. Have we seen it?
Samuel, I'm sorry to cut you short. These setbacks, these challenges, is not just coming up now. It is as a result of long-term.
No, sir.
It is as a result of long-term neglect. It is as a result of long-term neglect.
Now,
and if we may, when we should begin to be 1999.
A bread producer said we will soon be buying bread for 2,000 naira. Basi, just they bought a crate of egg for 4,000 naira. A boiled egg, one boiled egg. One boiled egg goes for 150 naira.
How is that as a result of the appointment made so far by the president?
Because we don't have policies that have been able to improve the economy. You don't have policies. At the moment now, people say we were crying under Buhari, but now I think we need Buhari back.
Buhari can't come back. He has saved his 2 terms.
Well, we know that. But what are we saying? Comparison that we were in heaven when we felt we were in hell during Buhari's tenure. Once I bought fuel, 700 naira per litre. I bought 20,000 naira this morning. 700 naira per litre.
How many
and
liters,
if you calculate that, it's not up to 25. But I still recall that for 25,000 naira, in fact, I have never bought fuel for 25,000 naira during the Buhari's administration. Because how much was fuel? For me to buy 25,000 naira, that would be 100 liters. And I drive a car that the capacity is 70 liters.
Sammy, our fixtures today, and this series
yes,
is way out.
Way out. That's why I'm saying that. You are now saying, you brought up the issue of the appointment to make the system run. And I am saying that the appointment is not making the system run, because the appointment is a wrong appointment.
So we should flush out all the ministers so far appointed?
The minister of the Federal Capital Territory that leaves the Federal Capital Territory that was under siege just to fight for political structure in Rivers State. Is that a competent minister? It's a simple thing. The one of the humanitarian that were transferring billions of naira into private account,
Dr. Beta
Edu, and some people are holding prayer services for her to return.
What's the solution?
The solution is that government office should not be seen as a medium of compensation. Rather bring in competent people. You know, after Tinubu won, though I did not support him, after I just felt, okay, he will replicate what he did in Lagos State when he was governor, getting the best hands, the Yemi Osinbajo's of this war. You know, the Aregbe Shola, who was Commissioner for Works, getting the Raji Fashola, who was his chief of staff, the Ben Akabweze driving the economy. I thought he would do that, but unfortunately, I think age is telling.
We are still on finding solutions to the several woes and challenges that we are facing as a country. While Sammy Tuk has discredited the appointment of ministers made so far to a very large extent, his recommendation is that people appointed should be totally unmarried. He has lent his voice to the fact that it is long overdue that some statutory agencies and non-statutory agencies and parastatals of government should be merged, while some should be scrapped. His specific recommendation is that ICPC, Code of Conduct Bureau, and EFCC should be merged so that we just have one agency. But still, since we are looking at this particular issue, touching on reducing the cost of governance as one of the steps that needs to be taken to take Nigeria back to where it should be. Let's take a step forward to now look at some other ways in cutting the cost of governance. This time around, our focus will be on the legislative arm, particularly the National Assembly. The House of Reps, and the Senate. Time. Somebody will just allow you to take a bite. You're coming back if you allow us. We're inviting you again next week. We are taking a series on this, and we move from the national to the state to the local government. Just on the National Assembly, what's your take on the several funds given to them, the vehicles bought? I don't need to speak further. Your bite on this issue, and perhaps your parting shot.
The National Assembly is a creation of law, but the appropriating of funds for their self-aggrandizement is one thing I still find difficult to accept.
Do you want a part-time National Assembly or full-time as it is?
I think I'm a strong supporter for the parliamentary.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm a strong supporter for the parliamentary. Look at what is happening in Britain. You have the National Assembly. You know, once you have the National Assembly, I mean the Parliament, call it the Parliament, the House here. Once you have it, from amongst you, you pick
a Prime Minister.
A Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister can be removed.
All right, Samuel Tuk, I'll cut short your thought there so that you don't exhaust your thought. We'll come back next week so that we will still look into these issues on ways that we can take as a country to finding solutions to all the challenges we are facing. That's how far we can go, unfortunately or fortunately, for today's episode. And we hope that you'll still be with us as we come back next week to look specifically on the steps we need to take on curbing insecurity, finding solutions to our economy, unemployment, high rate of mortality, and several other issues. My name is Basi Basi, and I was with...
I'm Odinaka Chukinhianacho.
All right. Do have a swell weekend. Let's do this again next week. God bless Akwa Ibom State. God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. Sabitu, thank you so much.